Many golfers find it difficult to be really consistent in where they land the club on the ground. Even on practice swings, can you land the club on the same spot repeatedly? Now, part of the reasons they struggle with this is because they tend to move off the ball too much or sway too much. So today we're really looking at the sway. Now, there are two types of sways. There's the lower half sway, which is the hips moving away from the target, and then there's the upper body sway. What I'm going to give you today is 2 or 3 ways that are going to abolish the sway from your golf game forever. So as I've already described there in the introduction, this kind of sway movement we would not see by any elite ball striker. 1 in a million, if you like, would have a slight movement, but then they pretty much recover very early in the transition phase or even before the transition phase to make it not an issue. Nearly all elite ball strikers, the trail hip either stays in the same position as a setup or actually disappears more round the corner, as I would describe it from here, works more in and up. That's my preference, but if it stays where it is and you have enough rotation with your upper body, your rib cage, then I would have no problem with it staying where it is. I certainly would not want to see the hip, knee, or the foot roll too much to the outside and break this line here in the backswing. Again, if you move and move back, that can work. It wouldn't be what I'd recommend because you're having a lot of moving parts and a lot of energy moving side to side. Now, we are definitely shifting our mass and we're definitely shifting our pressure, but we're doing that ideally through a much more rotational sense in the backswing and a lateral sense in the way down. So we call this in the way down more of a slide. And again, you can overslide and underslide, but we want a slide for sure. Again, the elite players, someone like Justin Rose, will move about 5-6 inches from the top of the backswing in the downswing. We want that slide, and that helps us get that low point in the right spot. Today, we're really working on, let's not move off the ball. Let's make things easy. Let's make things simple. So drill number 1. You're basically going to tap your toes as you make a backswing. Now, when you're tapping, you can't shift at the same time. You can't sway. It is harder to shift your pressure and energy, so you are going to be a little bit more static, but it is going to give you the sensation of, okay, can I rotate whilst tapping? Okay, so just doing the toe tap and starting the swing and making the swing as far as you can go will be what I'd start to do. And if you can then start to get the right hip working back as you tap, that is ideal. So it's not an easy skill to do. I'll tell you this for now. But every single person I've worked on the range with this, the sway is gone. So the toe tap is the first drill. And we're doing that while we make backswings in the practice swing. And then we're going to hit some short shots also doing it. You won't get your full power because it's very much the brain is being engaged and we're changing the way the brain thinks. The brain's being engaged to sort of tap your feet rather than focus on the contact with the ball. But it will make you certainly more centered on top of the ball. And that's ideally what we're looking for with this. I'm happy with a little bit of movement with the upper body. Your head can move about 1 to 2 inches to the right. Mine certainly does. The less flexible you are with your spine, your mid-spine, the more the head will want to forward bend rather than rotate on the spot. That's absolutely fine. Let's give a toe tap a go. It's difficult, it's tough, it really engages the brain in a different way, but it will start to reduce that sway of yours straight away. Let's get to drill number 2. So drill number 2 is bouncing. So instead of tapping, just mini little squats. This is easier, you can get a bit more of a flow, a bit more of a motion as you make the swing. But it certainly does the same thing. Again, bouncing and squatting. What it also does is start to engage your glutes a little bit, which adds to stability. So adding that stability to your backswing as we move. And again, it'll start to give you some ground awareness certainly as well. So certainly feeling that we go up a little bit is not a bad thing for then starting to come down more aggressively on that downswing. So the bouncing is a great way of feeling this also. So we want to feel that we can bounce, make a slow backswing again, considered backswing I'd say, and then on the way down, feel we can hit the ball pretty much in a normal style and normal speed if you can. You might find that you're a little lazier getting forward and through the ball, but the bouncing is what we're looking for, ready to stop the sway. Again, stopping the sway helps us land this golf club in the same spot every single time. And if we can only do that with a mini swing initially, that's where you should practice until you get that consistent, and then move that to a bigger, faster swing as you get more comfortable and confident and consistent with the outcome. What sometimes helps, if you have a mat at home like a doormat, spray a white line in it with athlete's foot spray or chalk, and try and land the club on that chalk line every single time, or the athlete's foot spray line every time. That'll give you an idea of whether you can control how you land that club. Let's go ahead and have a look at a bouncing shot now. So let's just see our normal setup, rehearsal. So bouncing all the way to the top of the swing and then swing through. Again, hit that one nice and softly, not trying to hit it too hard, just really concentrating on the function of bouncing and not swaying off the golf ball. Let's get to the last exercise to help get rid of the sway. So the last one, just place the golf club against your hip, like so. And what we're looking for in the backswing, again, if it drops this side of us, that's absolutely fine. We don't want to put pressure on it. We don't want to feel like the club is digging into the ground. We want to feel like if we're going to move the correct way, the club will drop. So dropping the club is good, or no pressure on the club is good. For me, to encourage the right hip turn, probably drop the club. So let's have a go at trying to drop that club. So dropping that club there really made me feel like I was turning my hips more than normal and earlier than normal. But again, it's a task. Quite often get people commenting on these videos and saying, well, people don't move the hips that early, you shouldn't do this, you shouldn't do that. Drills are there to overdo things, to give you a feel, and then to take it to your natural swing. If we were going to take this to the golf course now, we'd make a swing where we feel, okay, can I drop that club? Or can I do a bouncer or a step-in drill? Can I do that? And then from there, then go ahead and execute your normal shot with a simple key, a simple thought. And we want it to influence that normal swing pattern, not be the new swing pattern necessarily. We don't want to feel like there's a club there all the time, but certainly feel like, okay, how would I move if I was going to drop that club? That's the secret. Give it a go and let me know down below how you got on, and thanks for tuning in.